Those are some really long, big titles there. That's amazing. Now, tell us more. How did you become involved with the World Economic Forum Council for Artificial Intelligence?
Well, kia ora, Billy Joe, ka nui te mihi kia koe. Always stories involved in everything, but basically a year and a half ago I met this awesome woman, Maru Niho, who runs Metia Games. She's just an awesome wahine. And she talked about doing this Masters at Tech Futures Lab. Went there thinking, what's technology got to do with me? I have a law background and other things. And anyway, we're there to solve big problems, right? It's big world problems. And the thing I came across was algorithmic bias, and thinking, hang on a minute, the more I learned about it, the more I thought, actually what we're talking about is what we've always known as Māori, and that is they're talking about algorithmic bias, but we've had an analogue version and it's been called colonisation. And so I thought, well, if the solution back then was enforced te tiriti o Waitangi and it's the essence of what that is, the wairua of it, then that's the solution going forward. And so the World Economic Forum came about because I went somewhere, met a guy, he was doing the ethics of governance in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and I said, well, have you got any Māori on board? And he did say no. And I said, you must. And with the little I knew of technology, but with the heart that I have for Te Tiriti o Waitangi, I said, please let me come on board. And he said, I don't know if I can. And I just said, find a way. And he did, God bless him. And that then led to a working group, which then World Economic Forum has come to New Zealand because they know that business as usual isn't working out in the world, let alone here. And they've come looking and asking Māori, you've got something that we don't, what is it? And I am in a very privileged position to start to tell them what it is that we are and have to offer digital technology and our digital future. And it's in the template of that radical document of 1840, Te Tiriti o Waitangi.
Wow, so just for our whānau out there, can we just give a description of the World Economic Forum and what sort of power they wield? Where do they get their mandate from?
World Economic Forum was started by a Swiss man. I don't know very much the history, isn't that terrible? It's an organisation that governments feed into. Massive governments, massive corporates are feeding into this beast. And it's run in these strict rules and regulations, and and I've said, if you want diversity at the table, you're going to have to bring us in.
So they wield a lot of power.
They wield.
And now they have more power in you, Sarah.
Shoulder for that.
In your role with the World Economic Forum and Tech Futures Lab, you talk about the importance of te tiriti in New Zealand's digital future. Why is it so important to be a part of that corridor and that framework, I suppose, is that where we're trying to get to?
Yeah. Well, 1840 it was a radical document then. In its essence of Te Ao Māori, we know it's whakapapa, it's relationship. Never mind partnership, it's relationship, people, planet, right? And Pākehā had the opportunity to ditch business as usual and take the free and wonderful life that Māori were offering them, have a collaboration of power. Now, that was awesome in 1840. 2020, we've got COVID, businesses are floundering. Digital technology, there's a real threat in it, but I don't want us to feel afraid as Māori. There is a real threat to us as Māori, as marginalised people. But we have in our essence and in our DNA the kōrero of harnessing great energy, of navigating uncharted waters. We need to take the lead in this. And Te Tiriti o Waitangi is a framework then and now that is not business as usual. And if Aotearoa New Zealand isn't interested, the world is really interested in Māori.
It's so interesting. Just quickly for our last question, what opportunities opportunities are there for people to learn about digital futures at Tech Futures Lab, where you're a Māori advisor?
Aye, Tech Futures Lab are so committed to Te Tiriti o Waitangi as an organisation. They offer scholarships for Māori. You don't have to have gone through the normal university school routes. They're not interested in that. They're interested in fresh thinking, new minds, what you can bring. We as Māori are wanted right now, and now we're needing to stand up, upskill. But can I just say, we need to upskill ourselves digitally,
yes.
But non-Māori in New Zealand, they're needing to upskill. They're needing to upskill culturally and learn about Te Ao Māori, because if they want relevance going forward in the world and in here, that's all they've got is the Māori story.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Sarah, for joining us, and we'll get you on for a regular spot. How's that?
Ngā mihi nui, kia ora.